Hey guys, Hollywood Keep It Dirty. Today we're going to fix one of the issues that I got with the car. As you guys can see, the high beams are out on the E39. I also got a low beam bulb that are mismatched. We're going to take care of that later. Today we're going to try out LASFIT's LED headlight bulbs, see how they work on the Beamer. I'm a big fan of these guys' product. They make a high quality product. I've used them before. I've had friends use them before. It's a really solid company with great customer service. We're going to try them out, and they make some pretty good product. They make a kit of their bulbs. A nice little fan setup. Looks like we're running a couple LEDs on there. And we're going to try them out. I'm hoping these are a direct fit. The one concern we have is if we're going to have any flashing or any problems with coding, right, where the car may not want to recognize these. So this is an older car, it's 16 years old, so not sure if it'll take the LEDs, so we're going to give it a try. First things first, let's go ahead and pop the hood. And you know, because that engine bay is so beautiful, we're going to go ahead and stop and admire this for a minute. Okay, that's enough. Now, in order to go ahead and install LED bulbs, we do have to get the ballast out of the way, and it takes about 3 bolts to do this. If all you're doing is swapping the lights with the standard incandescent bulb, you don't actually need to take it out. We're doing it because it's the only way to connect the lights. There's not enough space between the ballast and the lights themselves, so this makes it the easiest way possible to install. Once the ballast is out of the way, disconnect the bulb first before you try to take the bulb out. Right? You won't be able to disconnect it without this. Next, you just kind of pop those 2 clips in and swing them back, and the light bulb will pop out. Now, the Beamer uses your standard H7 bulb. You can see a huge difference between the LASFIT bulbs and the really cheap incandescent bulbs. LED bulbs have a longer lifetime, that's why we decided to go with LEDs. I wish we could do LEDs on the headlights, but that's a bigger problem, that's a bigger project. We're going to take care of that later. Now, try not to get ahead of yourself here. I know the tendency is to get this bulb in, but slow down, guys. Well, the first thing you want to do is connect the bulb and make sure that you have it connected properly. The stock connectors don't have the polarity labeled on them, so you do have to test them out before you do it. Now, we're also doing this because we don't know if these are going to work without any errors in the car. So once we got both of the bulbs connected outside of the housing, went ahead inside, turned on the car, and realized the car doesn't like the bulbs. We knew going in that this could be a possibility, but luckily LASFIT makes a CANbus adapter that you can install that will get rid of the errors completely. And it's not like your typical resistor. This is a proper CANbus that's designed to give the car exactly what it needs and allow the LED bulbs to work correctly. A lot of manufacturers or a lot of people will try to do a resistor, and that's just not the way to do it. Now, we'll show you how to install a CANbus here shortly, but first let's get the bulb in correctly into the slot. Make sure that little tab on the bulb is facing up and aligns with the little slots here. Okay, and you do have to kind of wiggle it in, and then once you have it seated in place, you want to start putting those clips around the heatsink so it secures it. And these don't go one at a time. You basically have to, you know, slowly coerce them forward, both together. And then once you have them on one side, again, make sure you align the bulb and clip it in. Now we're going to install the CANbus systems. LASFIT sells these in a pair, so when you order these you get 2. First we connected it to the car stock connector, and then we connected it to the actual LED bulb. We loosely connected it here because we wanted to test the connection first, and you want to make sure you test it because chances are you're not going to get it right the first time, like we did here, right? See, the bulb did not turn on. So simple process, all we have to do is go back in, flip the connection at the car, so at the stock car location, not the other one, and then we can do a final test. Now the moment of truth. Turn on the car, making sure we have no errors. And look at that, success. Next, it's time to find a spot for the CANbus. Ideally, you want to keep this away from both the radiator and from the low beam ballast because they do get pretty hot and you don't want to melt it. So we're going to tuck this in under all that stuff, in between all the cables, so we don't have to worry about zip tying it. But it's not a bad idea to zip tie this area. We also tried to install the stock cover, but because of the way the cables sit, it doesn't fit. You know, we did try it a couple ways and the cables get in the way and it's not going to sit there, so we're just not going to install it back on. Next, we're going to install the balance plate back on. Now be careful here installing these bolts. The top one's fairly easy to do, but the bottom one you can easily lose like we did here. And if you lose it, be ready to retrieve it with some kind of magnet or something. Install the ballast back into place. Now this is also a good time to check under the ballast and make sure there's enough space for your CAN bus. You don't want that thing to be touching. Secure the ballast plate into place. Make sure this thing clips under correctly on the bottom, otherwise it won't hold correctly, and install the final bolt. And now it's time to test. Now side by side with the stock bulbs, you can see a big difference between the LEDs and the stock. LED has a more natural white light, close to that 5000 Kelvin, while the incandescent bulb is definitely more yellow. So right off the bat, that's a huge improvement. Next, we actually took it out on the street to see if there's a difference, and it was hard to really tell a difference. There was definitely a color difference, but overall we couldn't really tell if one was brighter than the other or not. The LEDs looked to be a little bit brighter, but honestly it was really hard to tell. It wasn't until we got back to the house and we put the lights next to the garage that we realized the lights were a little bit out of alignment. So we went ahead and called it a day and came back another day and aligned the lights correctly and put both of the bulbs out and did a proper test on the road to see how they looked. And what a difference it makes once both LEDs were in place. I mean, the road was well lit. It really showed us that our low beams need to be replaced too, because they're not really providing any light output. And I'm really happy with the light output, the color, and just the LEDs definitely look great. Okay, if you guys want to get a set, head over to LASFIT's website. They do have a couple of H7 options. So you have a couple options for color temperatures to even a higher end bulb as well. And we'll put the links in the description below, and don't forget to get that CAN bus. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.